Hi guys, it's Gina. Welcome to the place where your growth meets mine. Those moments in life when inspiration and the very thing that once made us feel alive and full of purpose begin to slip quietly out of our hands, almost as if it's evaporating into the air without even telling us when it plans to return. And in those moments, we start to convince ourselves that something is fundamentally wrong with us, that maybe our passion was just an illusion, and that maybe we peaked earlier in life without realizing it, and that maybe that spark that we once felt so naturally gone for reasons that we cannot name. And that terrifying, I would say, uncertainty, and what most people actually never learn, because no one teaches us how inspiration actually works, is that inspiration doesn't disappear because we are weak or we are unfocused or unworthy of great ideas. That inspiration doesn't disappear because we are doing something wrong. It disappears because the human mind was never designed to maintain a constant and uninterrupted state of emotional and creative elevation. Expecting ourselves to act as if we are always there, ready to wake up, to rise, and to shine, that would be simply not human. The moment that the inspiration pulls back, most people, what do? Most people panic. They assume that they have lost something that they'll never get back. They assume that the quieter their mind, the slower their energy, their sudden lack of drive is almost an emergency. It's an evidence that something is wrong with them, when in reality, what they're experiencing is simply the aftermath of any intense emotional or creative high. So let's say it's the valley that follows the peak. The integration phase, where the brain processes everything, is being absorbing. The downtime that allows your nervous system to organize the chaos into something meaningful. However, psychological factors also play a massive role in why the inspiration fades. And one of the biggest reasons that we stop feeling inspired is because we accidentally overload the emotional and cognitive systems that the inspiration depends on, after all. And we push ourselves too hard. When we demand perfection from ourselves, when we compare our timeline with other people's highlight reels, the mind begins defending itself in the only way that the mind knows how, by shutting down the parts of the brain responsible for creativity, long-term vision, emotional clarity. And then it rises again, sometimes slowly, sometimes explosively, sometimes in tiny fragments that rebuild your hope piece by piece. And the reason that you cannot be inspired all the time is simply because your brain, your heart, and your spirit need periods of quiet and stillness to integrate the chaos of life. They need time to rebuild neurotransmitters, to process experiences, to adapt to new realities, to grieve the things that you've lost, to form new connections, to get rid of old identities, and to prepare the next chapter that hasn't revealed itself yet. Inspiration comes in waves because you come in waves. You evolve in layers, you unfold in seasons, and you grow in cycles. So losing inspiration suddenly is, don't worry, extremely common. And usually it's not even random, because it is something very obvious in the moment that it occurs. It just means that your brain hits a saturation point. Because, inspiration is a result of a result of novel connections. And when you've been thinking too intensely about something, your brain just needs a reset before it can generate anything new. Stress also quietly can shut the creative door for you. Like even, let's say, in the daily life, even deadlines, pressure, work, your job, it all diverts the mental energy towards problem solving and away from imagination. And the moment that you start evaluating, you start judging, and trying to get it right, that's when the creative flow often collapses, because you're missing the input. Inspiration should fuel you, and like every fuel, it has limits. So you need to recharge it, you know what I mean? So if your energy is low, probably because you have sleep issues or poor sleep or emotional exhaustion, all of that can make your mind feel flat, can make inspiration appear to vanish. And this comes in cycles, and it's pretty normal. Creativity naturally waxes and wanes, and many people assume that they should be inspired all the time. That would be so good. But, inspiration is more like a tide than a switch. When you feel uninspired, please know it's pretty normal. It doesn't mean that you're doing anything wrong. It's just a normal reaction of your body. Because start from the concept that inspiration should not be a constant state. Just like hunger, just like energy and mood, even creativity has rhythms, and it naturally dips without meaning anything dangerous. So let's say that if you pressure yourself too much to feel inspired, why don't I feel anything? What's wrong with me? That's when anxiety kicks in. What does deserve your attention, what you should pay close attention to, is that when the lack of inspiration comes with the loss of motivation, you don't have to do anything. You just rest. You just observe yourself. Maybe you feel emotionally numb or persistently low, and it stops you from functioning in ways that matter to you, but that's normal. If you don't want to experience stress, burnout, or low mood, then you need to rest. So, please, take care of yourself. Don't pressure yourself. Be kind to yourself. Respect your limits, because your body has limits, and it's good that you want your body to perform 100%, but your body is like an instrument and it needs its own time. Feel free to comment, like, and subscribe to my channel. It really helps my channel grow more, and I will definitely meet you, see you on the next YouTube video, and I cannot wait to provide more and more interesting information for you. So until then, stay safe and take care. Bye.